Mobile devices killed the internet. Simple as that. No debate there. That's just the fact. Now, let me elaborate on what I mean by killed the internet. I'm not saying the internet is dead, like as in nobody uses the internet. Clearly, guess where I'm on? But what I'm saying is mobile devices killed the web in the fact that that if your website is not compatible with mobile devices, it's considered a terrible, awful website. It's an expectation nowadays to be 100% mobile supportive, and if you're not worth it. No one likes you. No one likes your company. No one cares what you do. I take problem with the fact that the mobile devices have basically taken complete control over the internet. Why do we have to go and say, oh, it's the internet, baby. What are you gonna do? And ignore the fact that mobile devices make developing websites that much harder. Seriously, it really does. For those who have never developed a website before or used templates or used website builders, it's all done for you. But what people don't understand is when you're building a website from scratch or using a certain template that doesn't even support mobile, well, it doesn't matter how good your website looks, you're going to be rejected. You're going to be disliked. People aren't going to take you seriously. I'm not joking. This is how people take the modern web. Don't believe me? Look at any website, including my own fivnex.co website, and see the fact that it's not mobile friendly. Will the Fivnex website ever be mobile friendly? Nice fucking joke. Unless we get that implementation into MEML, you mobile users are going to have to fuck right off. Because developing for mobile devices is an expectation that takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and is something that is not for the faint of heart, especially when you're building from scratch or you're building you're brand new to web development. If you're not good at mobile development and you can't make it look good, you're expected to quit mobile development. You're expected to quit web development at some points. I've seen it happen. I had a friend who would never support mobile devices because mobile devices suck to develop for. And to get it right on mobile is next to impossible in many cases because the look of your website has to sacrifice a lot of things you want to do to support mobile. It really is that way. And it really does suck. Because think about this. I got a DM saying new website needs mobile support /version. And this was for the Fivnex website. And this was a couple days after I developed a rudimentary basic implementation of the Border OS website. Well, the thing is, the Border OS website should have worked on mobile. I made it so it would work on mobile, and that is one of my prime examples of why I will always consider mobile devices to be the sin of the internet. Because I made a mobile version. It looked good. It worked. It functioned. Pizza, the developer of Border OS, sent me an image. That was basically the entire Border OS website fucking up on mobile. But when I got relatively the same dimensions on Chrome and Firefox web editors, they look fine. I'm not sure if I'll edit them in because I do want to release this video as soon as possible. But the website looked fine. It looked perfect. It looked like as I intended it to, and That's why I expected it on mobile. And since I don't own a mobile device, because mobile devices are evil and they take over your life and they spy on you wherever you go and whatever you do. So, the only way people are going to be able to develop for the web is if their rendering engine supports it. The problem: name a web technology that's ready to support mobile. You seriously can't. Try finding it. I dare you. A web technology that supports mobiles is rare. That supports mobile well is rare. And so far, I've not even found it. I've looked at React. I've looked at Angular. I looked at Vue. I looked at all of them. Developing for mobile is not great. It's about as functional as my green screen, in case you couldn't tell by it screwing up every couple of seconds for whatever reason. And the only way to fix it is what? Developing for mobile is like trying to get green screen done. It sucks, it's hard, and you just try once, and if it doesn't work, you don't fucking care. Or if you do care, you spend a lot of time and energy, and possibly even money to fix it. Or you can have it work most of the time, but on some situations, it's not perfect, or works just fine like it is now. Mobile development is just like that. It works some of the time, but other times at completely random for no apparent reason, unless you have a dedicated developer base, crap happens. Things don't work. And you either can live with it and get ridiculed, or you can instead fix it and spend far too long trying to fix it. Oh, but Kai, did you know there's ways to develop for mobile that are not painful? Like, XYZ, WXYD, ABC? Okay, I've tried all of those. They might work for you, but they don't work 100% of the time. That's the problem with the internet, is because no solution works 100% of the time. Because, guess what? Programming language, style sheets, and, you're not going to believe this, markup language don't function well for mobile and were never designed for devices that small. That's right, HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Yes, they all have features that can support mobile. That can. Does that mean they will? No, that's not the case. You have to go through an exponentially long list of meta tags, CSS scripting, JavaScript modifications, HTML modifications, design modifications. Just something that gets to work on desktop and mobile. Why don't we have a markup language built for the modern day? Well, there's JSS and React, and yeah, those really do help modern web development, but they're slow, they're bloated, they're broken half the damn time, in my experience at least. Why do we have to trust these developers too to design something that is in the interest of everyone? Not that they aren't, but how do we know that React is designed for mobile? Just because they say? Because I've tried putting React on mobile, it sometimes sucks. And with all these wonderful technologies, it's always about sometimes. It's not always, but it's sometimes, and that's the problem. When you don't know how your website is going to react in the 5% margin, that sucks. No web developer has every mobile device ever conceived. No web developer can test for every mobile screen resolution. Yes, these web browser tools have applications and tool sets that let you try, but are they worth it? No. Because like I said earlier, with the Pizza Loving Nerd and his BorderOS website, with Chrome, with responsive mobile thing, just scrolling it back and forth, it only broke with screens that are smaller than ones that exist. Or ones that are popularly used. But, and I tested for all screen resolutions. I messed with it. I played with it for pretty much every screen resolution that could fit on my monitors. I have 2. But Pizza Loving Nerd, of course, sent me that screenshot that's BorderOS website breaking on mobile. And he just said, I asked, what fuckery did you do? Because I know for a fact, that this works on all screen types. He said, I opened it on Chrome on my phone. And that day I was like, what? What do you mean? There had to be more you had to do. And I thought about it. I'm like, no. There's not more he did. It's not his fault that web development for mobile is the single sin, the single biggest sin of the internet. Without mobile devices, we would not have as many problems as we do today. Yeah, ad blockers and all that. Yeah, those are issues. Ad blockers and all that. It's exhausting. But at the same time, mobile development is not easy. And people really don't like the modern web. And I have to say, not all situations are result of mobile. A lot of them are. Unusable UIs for desktop and all that. These are actual issues. I've seen some websites designed for mobile that don't work well on the desktop. I'm like, how? How do you fuck up a website meant for designed to work on mobile? How do you fuck that up? How? And I thought about it, I'm like, well, it's because they're focused on a situation and a screen that doesn't screens for mobile devices and desktop computers are completely different. That's the fact, Jack. I don't care if you got a 16 by 10, and I don't care if you got your screen turned sideways. Your website, if it works on there, doesn't mean it will work on mobile. And that's a problem. Because if it doesn't work on mobile, you get shunned. You get bullied. You get told off for not having a functional website. Sorry, I choked on my own spit. Developing a website is on the modern web is like choking on your own spit. You don't know when you're going to run into an issue. But avoiding that issue might suck, and it might not be fixed for a good while unless you are proactive or are lucky. It's not easy to develop for mobile. Now, what can we do to fix this? Well, I personally would say ban mobile phone, ban smartphones. That's my personal take on that. But if we're being realistic, we need a new markup language that's designed, a new markup language, a new scripting language, and a bunch of other things that are designed for mobile. Not using mobile as a sidestepper or just an extension. But something that we can easily design for mobile without having to spend days, weeks, some people months developing a website to work on both desktop and mobile without knowing for sure if it will work. And that's why that's one of the many reasons I've decided to work on mobile. a product of FivNext, something I work on. Yeah, I don't want to support mobile devices, but in the modern day, can you really avoid it? No, you can't. And while the smartphone is the death of the modern internet, we're not in a modern era. What we consider modern is technically postmodern. Postmodern. So what we need to do, and in literature, they're saying the modern era is long gone. We're in either I forget if it's either the postmodern or the postmodern. It's one of the two. But we're either way, we're in postmodern era. So let's take a step from literature and art and redesign things to work in a postmodern web. No longer are we in the modern web, we're in the postmodern web. We have to fix things in the postmodern web. We have a lot of things to get over. HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript are not going to cut it. And that's a simple fact, Jack. Your only choice in the world right now for web developers is support mobile or die. And even if you don't want to, you will suffer because you don't want to develop for mobile. So until I get Memel working, VivNext is not upgrading their website to be mobile friendly. That's a simple fact. That's how that's going to be for a while. The fact of the matter is, the mobile device, maybe you don't agree that it killed the web, but it's objective fact that it hurt it. And you're like, wait a minute, how's that objective fact? Well, is a punch painful? That's an objective fact. Punches are painful. And what the mobile devices did was a punch in the face to web developers. So, let's develop the postmodern era of web development. And let's expand on the technologies that are making the web the web. Because, let's admit it, like I said 1,000 times probably already, HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript simply don't cut it. There's standardizations too, which makes it worse because standardizations, and for those who don't know, yes, JavaScript is a standardized language like C. Have you ever heard of ECMAScript? That's the ECMAScript is the JavaScript thing. So let's take a step back and think. What do we need to do to make the modern web better for the postmodern era of the web? Hope you all liked it. Hope you all cared about my rant. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.